We are just a few days away from Full Gear taking place from the Forum in Los Angeles, California, and at Full Gear, Hikaru Shida defends her AEW Women's World Championship against a superstar that has gained so much momentum, so much popularity amongst the AEW fan base that it is pretty much, at least from my point of view and from many fans' point of view, a given that timeless Toni Storm not only will win that match at Full Gear and reclaim her Women's World Championship, but Toni Storm needs to win this match bar none. Simply put, her character work, her segments on AEW TV since becoming timeless Toni Storm, since being expelled or excommunicated from the Outcast practically from Saraya by Ruby Soho, all derived from All In London in Wembley Stadium. That story that AEW has been planting seeds for and letting develop, letting grow, letting Toni Storm portray this Marilyn Monroe-like character in timeless Toni Storm has been absolute entertainment. I was about to say perfection. It's not perfection because nothing is. But again, I go to my point of the fact that this is sports entertainment, not just pro wrestling. And the best parts of AEW have always been storyline driven, entertainment driven. Whether it be the Devil, who's under the mask, whether it be Roderick Strong and the Kingdom and Adam Cole and MJF and the whole Adam, all of that storyline, or the possible backstabbing involved amongst those two, the backstage segments, them becoming best friends, and Toni Storm's interviews and her portrayal of this character join that very list. All of that makes AEW a much more entertaining, a much more watchable experience for the fan, for the casual viewer, and for the hardcore wrestling viewer. Because here's the thing. As a pro wrestling fan, you are conditioned and you are completely content with watching professional wrestling. And make no mistake about it, tonight's show, Wednesday Night Dynamite, live from Ontario, California, here at the Toyota Arena. It's a pro wrestling driven show. No doubt. Very little story is going to take place tonight on Dynamite. Very few segments, very few promos, maybe just the world champion. MJF is going to talk about the attack on the Acclaimed last week. That's pretty much it. But as a casual viewer, if you want to retain the casual audience, if you want to invite the casual audience over to watch your show, you have to present them with something different. And make no mistake about it, Toni Storm's character, timeless Toni Storm, has been different, has been entertaining to the fullest of the extent, and that is the main reason why she needs, and she should, she practically, if AEW decides to go against the fact that she does not beat Hikaru Shida for the Women's World Championship at Full Gear, that's going to be a major mistake on Tony Khan's part, in my opinion. And I get it. WWE is more entertainment-based. AEW is more pro wrestling-based. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But pro wrestling as a sport, as just a sport, died all the way back in 1985 when WWE introduced WrestleMania. Since then, it's been sports entertainment. Every single company ever since has driven more into sports entertainment, and AEW needs to do that to gain more viewers, to gain more audience, to gain more notoriety. Excuse me, can't really pronounce that word. More popularity. And again, Hikaru Shida, she's been a fantastic champion. Everybody knows that she can go in that ring with the absolute best of them, and Toni Storm is up there amongst those ranks as well. But here's the thing. Shida's been champion for how long? I can't even remember. And again, the women's division in AEW needs a spark. It needs something interesting. I talked about this months ago when we needed Britt Baker, DMD, to be a part of major storylines in AEW because she was one of the most developed characters on AEW TV. We needed Jade Cargill to do something other than just keep her streak alive, because that was an interesting part in the women's storyline. Outcast versus Homegrown, interesting part in terms of the women's division. Saraya, Toni Storm, Ruby Soho, The Outcast, Dissension. That's a little bit of more interesting when it comes to the women's division in AEW. Right now, they have absolutely nothing, but they can fix it if you give Toni Storm, timeless Toni Storm, the title at Full Gear. And I'm going to touch upon this a lot more on tomorrow's video when we preview Full Gear, which is taking place this weekend. And we go over the entire match card. But at the end of the day, who knows what's going to happen? Who knows if they're going to have Shida retain? Again, they've been flip-flopping that championship for quite a while. Shida had it, then Saraya, then Toni Storm. So Toni Storm is looking to regain it. We'll just have to wait and see what goes on. As far as tonight's Dynamite is concerned, again, it's a more pro wrestling-based broadcast set for tonight. Moxley and Wheeler Yuta face off against Orange Cassidy and Hook. Tag team contest. MJF talks about the Acclaim's attack on, the Devil and his worshippers backstage attack on the Acclaimed. Penta El Cero Miedo and El Commander face off against the Young Bucks in a tag team match. Another tag team match. We have the unorthodox, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to look up the actual name because I don't want to butcher it. But it's like a Dragon Gaiden street fight involving Kenny Omega, Chris Jericho, Kota Ibushi, I think. Yeah, Kota Ibushi, Paul White, no BS, Paul White, facing off against Takeshita, Brian Cage, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Kyle Fletcher. 4-on-4 street fight, partners by Sega. So again, it's a go-home show for AEW. Again, they have to keep working on their storylines. I'm more of a storyline-driven type of guy. I don't know if you've noticed this, but pro wrestling just doesn't do it for me. If it did, I would have been a Ring of Honor wrestling fan ages ago, and I just could never get into Ring of Honor because it was just too pro wrestling based, and I need storylines. I need something to really sink my teeth into. And finally, Red Velvet versus Sky Blue. The winner faces off against Chris Statlander and Julia Hart in a three-way match for the TBS title at Full Gear. That takes place tonight on Wednesday Night Dynamite from Ontario, California. So with that said, what are your thoughts on today's card for Dynamite? What are you expecting from tonight's show? And do you agree with me in the fact that Toni Storm, her character, timeless, her gimmick, timeless, Toni Storm, should be a first ballot guarantee to beat Hikaru Shida and become Women's World Champion at Full Gear? Leave your thoughts, comments, and predictions in the comment section below. My name is Alexis Carrillo. This has been Wrestling Talk, and I'll see you next time.